Bring me when we start. Everyone. All right. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome once again to the Enhanced Sports Show. It's Saturday, just after 4 o'clock in the Northeast. My name is Louis Snor, and I welcome those of you um, tuning in, and even those of you for the first time. I'm glad you joined in. You picked a good day to join us. All right. Before we begin, of course, the number is 512-543-4662. I'll repeat again, 512-543-4662. And up here at 6 o'clock, when Russell McGee takes over his fine show from 6 to 7. Kevin Dixon, Monday nights 6 to 8, I think, or sometimes 7 to 9. But check again just in case. And whenever Patrick Hodge gets in, he'll start his show. I think it'll be on Sunday nights. All right, so we got a lot to discuss. We got a lot of basketball to discuss here. NHL, MLB, NFL. So we get right to it. Forgive me if I go a little bit long with the basketball today, but it's that time of year. Hey, Jimmy, how are you? Thank goodness. Steve Davidson. Steve David, 2 hours away. Steve Davidson, are you there? All right, I'm glad you're feeling better. Steve Kent. All right, Mikey. Caller, would you give your name, please? Would you say it again, please? I couldn't hear you. All right, we'll get to you. We'll get to you in a little while. All right, guys. So as usual, at the first week of the month, we do the standings here. I'll try to go over them as quickly as possible. We'll try. All right. So for the NHL, well, first of all, the Ringers are now officially eliminated, even though it is not posted up on the standings here. But they have been eliminated, unfortunately. The Devils beat them 4-0. Yuck. So here we go. Yeah. All right, the Capitals, yeah, of course. 107 points, got the lead. 49, 18, and 9. Hurricanes are next at 46, 25, and 4, 98 points. Maple Leafs are 96 points at 46, 25, and 4. The Lightning, 93 points at 44, 26, and 5. Those are your like division leaders. All right. Panthers are 44, 27, and 4, 92 points. The Devils are in sixth right now at 49, 29, 7, 89 points. That means we're not, yeah. That means you're not going to get a home ice advantage. Sorry. Senators are 40, 29, 6, 86 points. Montreal is 81 points at 33, 36, 30, and 9. I think official. No, I don't think they're officially eliminated yet. The Rangers are 36, 33, and 7, 79 points. Blue Jackets are below them at 77 points at 34, 31, and 9. The Red Wings, 77, 35, 33, and 7. Oh, boy. Islanders are 33, 32, and 10, 76 points. Penguins are 72 points at 30, 34, and 12. Flyers, 31, 36, and 9, 71 points. Sabres, another losing season, 32, 36, and 6, 70 points. The Bruins, which I am very surprised at, are last in the conference at 30, 37, and 9, 69 points. Wow. That's pretty sad when you think about it. They were once such a powerful team. I mean, not that long ago, they had the 65 winning season, and now they can't even buy a win. Steve Kent, what's wrong with your Bruins? Oh, yeah. Mm, they certainly are. Yes. Right. Uh-huh. Right. 2 points. Yeah. I think the Rangers are too. Yeah. I think the Rangers are taking one too. Yeah. Yes. Mhm. Yeah. Okay. Right. Neither did I, especially just 2 seasons removed from that record-breaking season you had. Yeah. Mhm. Obviously. Yeah. All right. Well, Steve Davis, you got to be happy about your Capitals. I mean, 107 points, and OV is one goal away from breaking the record. Exactly. I'm gonna explain that in a little bit. I was kind of surprised about myself. I think it'd be a golden opportunity. But I'll explain it later. Absolutely. I saw the game last night. I've been following this for weeks, and now we're on the brink of history here. I thought, okay, maybe he would have done it last night, but a possibility because there can't be 3 goals scored by the same player in one night, three in the same period. Very unlikely, but still, I think he was going to give it all he had gotten there. But that was kind of surprising, though, to be honest, that he passed it up. Mike, you got to be happy about your Devils. Yeah, but not but you won't get the home advantage at first. You'll be on the road with the first 2 games. All right. All right, and, Jimmy, of course, the same thing. Now, is the name Bull here? Is that your name? Hello, Bull. All right, probably not. Oh, yeah, yeah. One of those. Oh, yeah, yeah, of course. Hey, Di, glad you're here. All right, so now look at the Western Conference, which is on fire here. The Jets, 108 points at 52, 20, and 4. They lead the whole league. The Stars are 50, 21, and 4, 104 points. Golden Knights, 98 points, 45, 22, and 8. Avalanche at 98 points at 47, 26, and 4. 95 points. Wow, this is big. The Kings, 43, 23, and 9, 95 points. 93 points. The Oilers, 44, 26, and 5. I mean, guys, this Western Conference League is stacked. Wow. Oh boy. Uh, the Blues. Now listen to this, guys. The Blues are on a hot streak, 11 wins in a row, and they're 42, 20, and 7. This is a dangerous team right here. Look out. Minnesota, 89 points, 49, 29, and 7. Flames are at 84 points at 36, 27, and 12. The Canucks, 34, 20, 13, 81 points. 80 points are Utah at 34, 30, and 12. Very respectable. And at the bottom of the barrel, all the following are eliminated as the Ducks at 33, 34, and 8, 74 points. The Kraken, 32, 3, and 6, 70 points. The Yahoos, aka the Predators, 27, 41, 8, 62 points. The Blackhawks, another disappointing season at 21, 45, and 10, 52 points. And the Sharks, who can't catch a bite this season, are 20, 45, and 10, 50 points. I mean, guys, I think the Eastern teams are in a run for their money. These 6, 7 teams in the Western Conference look pretty strong here. I think the East has their work cut out from, unless the Capitals do something. But remember the curse of the President's Trophy. I mean, just because you win the regular season does not mean it's a guarantee that you're going to win the Stanley Cup. Uh, Steve, any thoughts about? Well, Steve Dave says, any thoughts about with the Capitals? Being where they are. What kind of a chance do they think they have to go all the way? Oh, don't mention him. He's a dirty player. I know. Who's dirtier? Who's dirtier though, Rempe or Wilson? Yeah. Hey, Steve, let me ask you a question. Who do you think is dirtier? Matt Rempe of the Rangers or Tom Wilson? Okay, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Okay, fair enough. But I gotta warn you guys, this Western Conference, all 8 teams are above 500, and they're very strong on the offense. So I wouldn't call it a runaway because the Jets, are powerful too. So I'd be careful here. This is gonna be tough. I feel sorry for the Blackhawks though and the Sharks. I mean, really, they just can't seem to buy a win anymore. Ugh. I mean, it was. I mean, it wasn't really that long ago that Blackhawks were the most powerful team. I mean, they won 3 Stanley Cups in 7 years. Now, it's just awful. Sorry to say that, but still, just not the Blackhawks that we mostly thought were. All right, so we'll go now to the NBA. Uh, yeah. Okay, NBA. Ready, guys? All right. In the Eastern Conference, the Cavaliers, 62 and 15. Oh, just my run luck. 5 games ahead of the Celtics at 57 and 20. The Knicks, yeah, they're in the playoffs. They're at 48 and 28, 13 and a half back, going for win number 49. Up convincingly over the Atlanta Hawks right now. Sorry, guys. At 48 and 46 and 48 and 28. Pacers, 46 and 31, 16 back. The Pistons, you got to give it to the Pistons here. I mean, the last 2 years, they were at the basement and couldn't do anything, right? Last year, they had the worst record in the league, finishing at 14 and 68. Look at them now, 43 and 34. They're in the playoffs and a slight chance to get the home court advantage in the first round, maybe. But you got to give it to them, coming from what they were the past couple of years to this, fifth in the conference. And let me tell you something. If their head coach does not get coach of the year, there's something wrong here. And let's see. The Bucks are 42 and 34, 19 and a half points. Uh, Possibly the Magic at 38 and 40, 24 and a half back. The Hawks at 25 and a half back at 36 and 40 could make the playoffs. Well, the play-in spot. In fact, they will make it. They will make it, yes. The Bulls 35 and 42, as well as the Heat 27 back. Elimination, yeah, we've got them right here. The Raptors 28 and 50, 34 and a half back. You're gone. The Nets 25 and 52, 37 back. Yeah, you were gone, I think, in November. The Hornets 19 and 56, 43 back, and the Wizards 17 and 60, 45 back. Did you get that, Steve? Yeah, sorry. Yeesh. Okay, over to the West. Thunder, 64 and 13. 13 and a half ahead of the Rockets at 51 and 27. My. Lakers, a strong third at 47 and 30. Nuggets, 47 and 31, 17 and a half back. The Warriors, 46 and 31, 18 back. And the Wolves at 45 and 32, 19 back. Same as the Clippers and Grizzlies. At 36 and 38 and 40 are the 36 and 40 are the Mavericks at 26 and a half back. They fell off a cliff. And the Kings, 37 and 40, 27 back. The Suns, yeah, 35 and 42, 29 back. They should be gone soon, as well as the Blazers at 34 and 44, 30 and a half back. Spurs on the way out too at 32 and 45, 32 back. Already out are the Pelicans at 21 and 56, 43 back. And the Jazz, 16 and 62, 46 and a half back. Yow. Yeah. So it should be yeah. But I still don't see why that everybody is knocking the Cavaliers, thinking they don't have the chance to make it to the finals, but the Celtics do. Why are they seem to be the overwhelming favorite over over Cleveland? Why? Because they were the defending champs. I mean, Cleveland just as a good shot as the Celtics. If I do say so myself. No offense, Steve, of course, but Cleveland's shown why all year why they deserve to be at the top spot and look like pretty much a lock to get into the NBA Finals. Yeah, Okay, I'll buy that. Yeah. Yeah, obviously not, but you can't go by last year either, you know? I know, but some are. Yeah, right. Yes. Mhm. Right. Absolutely. Yes. Yeah, yeah. Right, right. Yes. I know, I will. Oh, absolutely, I almost guarantee it. Yeah, absolutely, I wouldn't put it past it. Yeah. I still think, though, that Cleveland is gonna beat Boston. I mean, it's gonna be a tough series. I mean, it's not gonna be a cakewalk for either team. I mean, that's gonna be a hard-fought series, but I think Cleveland will have enough power to overtake the, Celtics. Of course, you guys know I'm not a Celtics fan, but, that is gonna be a powerful matchup, you know, barring any, unforeseen circumstances, in the Eastern Conference Finals. The West, I think the Thunder have it locked up. I mean, it is a strong conference, but the Thunder are so far ahead of everybody else. How could they not, you know, how could they not win? I really think that the Thunder have a chance to win. Yeah, yes, no, no. I know. Well, that's been that way for years. They were never taken seriously anyway, Steve. They were never taken that really seriously anyway till a few years ago. Now, they were like considered one of the most NBA elite, but now they've dropped back down a step or two. but they never really got a lot of respect, before that, before winning the championship. Yeah. Yes. Giannis. Yeah. He's one of the good numbers in the NBA. All right. Okay, guys, it's Final Four weekend, and of course, in about less than an hour and a half, the Final Four will begin. And this is going to be a great. This is going to be a great Final Four. At least I think so. This is the first time in I think 16 years or so that all four of the Final Four teams are number one seeds. Hey, you can't get any better than that. I mean, really. So this is all the makings of a true Final Four. It's got to be. This has got to be the best best in years. It really should be. So we have Florida and Auburn coming up at the 6:10 mark. All right, 6:09 want to be exact. Then approximately 8:50, Houston versus Duke, all in one seeds. So let's explain how we got here before we take your predictions. All right, that's not it. So anywho, Duke is in the Final Four for the 18th time in their school history after beating win over Alabama last week. Cooper Flag might not have his best game, but his teammates sure stepped up when it counted. Colin Canubo scored 21 points, and Tyrese Proctor scored 17 points despite an off game by his standards. Well, from Flag, that is. Duke held off a cold shooting performance from Alabama in the second half and went on to an easy 85-65 win. The Blue Devils will now face Houston for their 18th appearance, and they're second all time with UCLA. Alabama had the nation's highest scoring team and kept it close in the first half despite a dreadful, and I mean dreadful, shooting performance, hitting only 5 of his 19 shots from the arc. And All American guard Mark Sears was struggling after scoring 34 points and 10 3 pointers against BYU. Sears did not make his first basket until 2 minutes left in the first half. Yeah, you know it's not going well when that happens, folks. Duke center Kaleem Malik was just over Alabama's shooters, allowing Duke perimeters to force low percentage shots. He had 14 points and 8 rebounds and 2 blocks for Duke, who shot 53.6% from the field and 40% inside the paint. All right, so I'll take the first predictions now. Who do we got? So who do we got for the first match, guys? Do we have? I'm sorry, it's the second matchup, Florida and Auburn first, but I'll take this one first. Who do you like, Duke or Houston? Steve Davidson, I'll start that with you. Steve Kent. Right? Mickey, Mike. Oh, okay. Diane. Mike, are you there? Okay, like to welcome. Okay, like to welcome. Okay, like to welcome an old friend to the show, Melvin. Nice to have you back, man. Yeah, we're discussing basketball. We're discussing Final Four right now. The second game, I think, might be a little bit more interesting. So, who do you got with the Duke game? Do you have Duke or do you have Houston? You guys know something I don't know. Hmm. Well, there's always got to be one person's got one or two people in the group that's got to take the upset. So yeah, I understand, but I think I'm gonna go with Duke. I mean, Cooper Flag had yeah. if Cooper Flag stays on his game like he has all season, yeah, I think Duke is going to have it because he has lived up to the potential that Duke belongs there, and it's been a while since they've won a championship. So we'll see. So who we have? So who do you like in the other game, which is the first game actually? We have Florida and Auburn. Steve Davidson, who do you got? All right, Steve Kent. You're going with Florida, you said, right? All right. Uh, Jimmy. You think? All right, Mike. Florida. Okay, Diane. Melvin. Yeah, I'm gonna go Florida too. Auburn, always struck me as a football school. I mean, I'm not gonna knock the basketball performance this year, but to me, that's football, and are so much better than that. But I gotta go with Florida here with that. So, of course, don't have to take my word for it, but that's how I look at it. Yeah. So anyway, getting back to Cooper for a minute. Uh, Cooper Flag had a season to remember, of course, and he was rewarded for it very well on Friday. Flag was named the Associated Press Player of the Year. The organization made the announcement yesterday afternoon. What a surprise. Um, he is the youngest player to win the award and the fourth freshman to win the award, joining such greats, well, mostly greats, such as Kevin Durant, Anthony Davis, and former Duke player, and the not so great Zion Williamson. No offense. The award comes on the eve of Duke heading to the Final Four against Houston. Flag has had uh, very strong numbers this season: 18.9 points, 7.5 rebounds, and 4.2 assists. And most people predict that Flag will be selected first overall in the June draft. But if you ask me, I don't know if he's exactly ready to go to the June draft. I mean, I think he has to work on from the injury. I mean, I know he's well now and everything from that incident, but I think he needs to work on his game a little bit more rather than jump right into the NBA draft in just his freshman year. I mean, that could be a big mistake right there because you know how some of these players are. Oh, they're so great in their first second year. Yeah, I'm ready to go pro. Sign me to a contract. But then you realize that you got up against the more experienced players. See, you're going from boys to men now. It was so hard to think about it yesterday. But the point is that you got to learn how to adapt to that because those older guys, especially on your opponent's side, they can mop the floor with you. So you might want to think about maybe staying another year, and you could be even a bigger star than you were this year. So I'm hoping that yeah, but that's not the real NBA though. I mean, that's like team. They're going to be. It's a big step. It's also a big step to go from just freshman year in college to the NBA just like that. I mean, and some players just can't adapt to it, which is probably why they fall flat when they get there. So you know, it's a lot. I know a lot of people. Yeah, yeah, I know, but that could be deceiving. I've seen it happen before. I mean, everybody thought that Zion was going to be the next big thing in the NBA, and look what he's done. Hardly anything. He's always injured. Yeah, very undisciplined. You ask me. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're there to win games. Remember, I know I do. Yes, yes. Uh-huh. Right. Yeah, yeah, we hope not. Could be. Yes, yes. Like I said, that could be a big mistake. And like I s and of course, if we wanna go anything lower than that, yeah, if we wanna go anything lower than that, I have another one that's just was even worse. Kiki Vanderway. Oh, boy. Okay, never mind. We got another caller here from the 771 area. Would you state your name, please? From the 771 Uncle Kirby, how are you? Nice to hear from you. Yeah. All right. Any predictions on the Final Four before I move on? Wow, very nice. Hmm. Yeah, some are taking Auburn. Then you're not the only one here, but I don't know. Auburn to me is more like football. You think they can stack up against Florida? Hmm. All right, well, to each his own, of course. But I don't know. It looks a little shaky here. But like I said, this should be a doozy of a Final Four. And by the yeah. Oh, which reminds me, tomorrow is the women's championship game, so that should be even more of an excitement. We're gonna go to that right now. So listen carefully to yeah, UConn. Well, let me read it off first. Because someone doesn't want to take UConn. I don't blame you, but you never know. So here's what happened yesterday. Texas, South Carolina beat Texas convincingly, 74-57. Why am I not surprised? But UConn shocked UCLA, which was number one all year, 88-81. So this should be good. UConn's looking back to regain the top possession. Oh yeah. All right, guys. So who do we got? Remember though, South Carolina is the defending women's champion. All right, Steve Davidson, who do you got? South Carolina or UConn? Steve Kent. Never. Right. Jimmy. All right. All right. Uh, Diane. No. Uncle Leonard. Yeah. All right. Well, as you've heard me say lots of times on the show, you can do it. And that's exactly what they're gonna do. Good for you. Yeah. And that's 3:30 tomorrow, by the way, just in case you're all wondering. 3:30 tomorrow, and it'll be on ABC. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it too. And of course, I'm also looking forward to Ovi breaking the record tomorrow. Oh boy, that's gonna be good. Yeah. And they say there's something good on. He tied it. He tied it last night. He didn't do it with the empty net. Now, okay, I don't blame him for that. I mean, I understand the reasoning why he didn't do it, but it would have been, like I said, it's still history in the making that he would have done it that way. But I guess he didn't feel that would be fair to do. So I thought, do it on my own terms. Yeah, I understand that. But it would have been nice to see if it would happen, a shy history like that. Because you yes. Oh, by the way, congratulate your Celtics making history from the 3-point line. Yeah. Listen to this, guys. The Celtics have set a new record for most 3 pointers in a season with 1,364 made. Oh boy. That tops 1,363 made by the Warriors of 2022-23. Peyton Pritchard set the mark as he nailed the historic three-pointer in the second quarter against the Suns in front of a sellout crowd at TD Gardens. And of course, the Suns this year are, well, awful. The home crowd went berserk as the ball went through the hoop before the record-breaking shot. Last season, the Celtics fell just a little bit short as they made a measly 1,351 three-pointers. Big deal. En route to their first championship in 16 years. Steve, you got to be proud. I think that's another reason why you think maybe that the Celtics will have a decent shot at making the final because with the 3-point shots like that, yeah, that's pretty strong and may have a good reason to get there. But I'm still going to take Cleveland. But congratulations on that historic mark. Yeesh. Oh yeah, they're pathetic. Yes, yeah, I've heard. Yeah, yes. Oh, that was A. Thomas. The other one. The other one. Okay, the other guy. Yeah. Uh-huh. The old adage. Yes. I thought they only applied to in college by that rule, but I guess you can apply in the NBA too. Live by a three, die by the three. I always thought it was just a college rule. Yeah, but I always thought they just applied to college. Yeah, they all can shoot three. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Right. Yes, it has. Since 1979, of course. All right, I want to turn attention to the NIT championship, which happened on Thursday. Now you're probably thinking, "Hey, Louis, you're doing that now? Really?" Well, look, I tuned into the second half of the game, and it turned to be a very interesting game as well. As Chattanooga and UC Irvine played to a classic, if I do say so myself, and Chattanooga won, pulled out in overtime over Irvine. What a game! Colin Mohard scored 19 points, making 5 3-pointers. Garrison Kessler then sang a go-ahead jumper from the three-point line with 11 seconds left in overtime as Chattanooga became the first SEC team to win the NIT after being UC Irvine 85-84 in overtime. What a game. Chattanooga had 29 record, tying a school record for victories after winning 17 of the last 18 games to win their first ever postseason title. Too many with the NCAA. Irvine center Brent uh, Lucian went to the free throw line with 31 seconds left in overtime for a chance at a 3-point lead, but missed both foul shots. After Kessler's made an entry pass, it was overthrown, and Chattanooga secured a loose ball, missing 2 free throws to give the Anteaters another chance. That's right, their nickname was the Anteaters. Well, Devin Tillis tossed a full court pass with 2.4 seconds left. Then Lucian grabbed with a one-hand pass and passed it to Jurian Dixon under the basket for a layup and rolled off as time expired. Oh boy, what a way to lose that game. I thought I was going to go win, to be honest. Irvine ended their season with respectable 32-7, and also was playing for their first NIT title. I don't know if any of you saw the game, but for an NIT final, this was pretty good. I mean, not as good as last year when Seton Hall won it. Thank you very much. But a well played, well competitive game. Came down to the last shot, but just rolled out. Oof. What a game, though. So, congratulations, Chattanooga. Very well, a well played game, if I do say so myself. And of course, they have this other thing called the College Basketball Crown, where it's like the second tier or third tier teams playing their own tournament. Oh boy, anything they'll do for more tournaments. Basically, every team is going to have a tournament, no matter how bad they are. Let me tell you that. That's yeah, but lower. Yuck. But anyway, the semifinal games are happening as we speak. Um, oh, I gotta go to the page first. Yeah, going as we speak, and right now, well, I think one game is over, yes, and Nebraska beat Boise State 79-69, and right now Central Florida is leading Villanova 37-34 with 6 minutes to go in the first half. So Nebraska, I'm gonna take Nebraska in this one, and I'm not gonna roll Villanova. I think they come back, and I think Villanova will win the tournament, even though that doesn't mean this is the NCAA. But I remember when they won the NCAA tournament back in 2016, last second shot over North Carolina. Wow. Couldn't think it was my first year getting into this stuff. How about that? All right. All right. Before I go into any other sports territories, Steve, you want to do UFC boxing report and Diane your trivia? All right. Yeah. What? Uh-huh. And if he does win, folks, he's buying us dinner. All right. Anything else, Steve? All right, Diane, trivia. Okay. George Foreman. George Foreman. Yes. Yes. Right. Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson was there. I think it was Detroit. St. Louis. Yeah. But I always wonder but I wonder who does mom like best? No. Okay. Never mind. All right. I want to turn attention to baseball for a minute, not with the standings, but of course, an interesting story, and then we'll do some other basketball news in the NFL and whatnot. So, we're hearing a lot about these new torpedo bats that have come into play, and it's where uh, the bats give a little extra power to knock the home runs out of the ballpark. I mean, when the Yankees put 9 home runs in one day, I've a lot of people were saying, "Hey, what's up with this? They are they cheating?" No, it is not illegal to have these bats, to be honest. But it gives the hitters a more kind of advantage. But I think we're also seeing what happened like a long time ago when they were complaining like when the balls were juiced up, but they were able to hit the balls out of the ballpark a lot more easily. I think we're seeing something more like this again, just like latest to get more controversy into baseball. So far, it's paying off. I mean, there's been a lot more home runs being hit. Of course, the games have not been a lot closer for most of them, and so I don't think we're going to see a lot of pitchers duel here. But I really think it's good for the game. I mean, fans like the long ball, and they're getting it. Of course, at the same time, a lot of course, are not going to be seeing a lot of pitchers duels, maybe. So, I'll start with Steve on this one. Is this a good thing for baseball, or is this going to be like another bad thing for baseball? You mean Pine Tar? July 23rd, 1983. Yes, that's right. It's not illegal. It was designed by firms from Japan, and it does give extra hitting power to the batters. So the pitchers would be on their guard here, if you know what I mean. Oh boy. Anybody else have thoughts on these new Wonder Bats? Yeah. Go ahead, Steve. Yeah. Yeah. Of course, in college they use it because yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Yes. Right. Yeah. I think so. Okay. Yeah. Yes. I understand that. Yeah, I think they're making a big deal of it more than it already is. So, I don't think it's gonna cause that much of a difference as time moves along. I mean, right now we're just getting the second week of the season, and everybody's not everybody's just still trying to get back into the flow here. I think once we get into like late May to early June, I think we'll see it die out and go back down to the more normal level. That's the way I look at it. Okay, so we'll turn attention now to football as there's new rule changes that have been coming into the league that will start this season. Some think it's a stupid idea, and some think it's a be a great idea. The one issue that, of course, has been the constant, controversy, of course, is overtime. Now, get this: they did pass the new overtime rule. Now, here's the thing: each team will at least get one possession of the ball in overtime, regardless of score. That means the touchdown doesn't matter. If they score a touchdown, the other team will get a chance to match it. or hey, maybe even go for two to beat it. Why not? So, of course, there's been so much controversy over the years. Beginning with sudden death, the first to get the score wins, and then they decide, well, the first to get a touchdown wins. If you got a field goal, then the other team will have a chance to, you know, get a chance to get the ball and either tie it with a field goal or win it with a touchdown. Okay, I understand that. So now you're gonna give both teams a chance uh, at the ball. Now, if it's tied after that, then we go to sudden death, and the first team that scores that wins. But the thing is, though, that they're going to keep the overtime at 10 minutes, obviously to prevent injury from other players, because the longer the game goes, the more injury prone you might be. So I get that. But I still think, though, with this situation, you might need that extra 5 minutes to try to get, at least one more score in. Because I know with, minus 5 minutes, that if both teams score, I don't think anybody will be able to score um, another touchdown or a field goal. And remember that despite these new rules, if the game is tied at the end of the overtime, it is still a tie in the regular season. That has not changed. It probably never will. So what do we make of that new rule with the new overtime? Would you think to say that it's fair and we can put an end to this controversy that's been going on for the last 20 years? It's a freebie. Anybody can answer. You would. Yeah. Yeah, I think yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that is really gonna be out of hand. Yeah. 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 You wanna make it 12 minutes, people? Yeah. Anyone else agree? Who buzzed? Who buzzed? Probably, yeah. Yes. That could be the problem, Roger, you're right. Yeah. Yeah, that could be more ties. I think, just keeping it at 10 minutes could be a mistake, but I think they may relook into that, if it comes to having too many more ties, maybe they'll, adjust it, maybe give it back 15 minutes, which would be more logical. And if you're a Atlanta Hawks fan right now, I got 2 words to say about this. I am sorry. Boy, wow, the Knicks are killing 'em right now. Yeah. So, well, we'll just see how it goes over the first, month or two of the season, then maybe make adjustments after that. But of course, in preseason, there is no overtime whatsoever. You don't need a preseason anyway. So that's the end of that. Alrighty. So let's see. I know I had something else here. Okay, yeah, the NFL rule has held up a decision on what's called the tush push. Oh boy, I think it was a disco song in the '70s. The tush push. In the oh no, never mind, never mind. Okay, so on Tuesday, the league decided to delay the vote of the controversial play made famous by the Eagles during the league's annual owners meetings. Got that, Jimmy? By the Eagles. Okay, but the NFL, of course, needed 24 of 32 of the league's owners to support or reject such a rule change, but it's unclear how teams side on the issue. This will be revisited during another round of meetings next month. So this is not a dead issue yet. Among the layers to the push, play is traditional in the nature of the sport. However, the idea of pushing teammates can push one on another on offense, but are not able to raise another defensive player to block a kick is one sided. Yeah, I happen to agree on that. It is kind of one sided. Health and safety issues were touted as a concern to ban the play, but the league simply does not have enough evidence to say which injuries could occur. Oh, I can think of probably a few. Here's the interesting part about this, guys. Zero injuries were reported from the play last season, but it barely accounted for 1/5% from all offensive plays last season. So out of 100, only 101 out of 35,414 offensive plays were of the tush push. That is not even a full 1%. Not even that. I mean, I think it's a waste. Just get rid of it. It doesn't even really come into play anyway. Of course, when it does happen, it can be a little dangerous. So I really think they should just dump it. You were gonna say something, Steve? Yeah, but the thing is, Kirby, the more the game goes, the more injuries might occur, and that's the last thing the NFL wants to see is more injuries. There's only so much the body can take. Uh-huh. Greg is here. Hey, Greg. All right. Greg, you were mentioning some. Yeah, you were mentioning something about tennis a while ago, earlier. So you want to bring up something. So go ahead. Wait. I gotta get Mike. Mike, your results from the Special Olympic games. I want to hear. Yeah, right. Go ahead, Mike. Oh yeah. Oh, well, that was the important thing that you went there and did your best. You know, fourth place is nothing. Thank you. Fourth place is nothing to sneeze at. All right, Greg. So you wanted to bring up on the Joker, right? Yeah. Yes. Yes. Uh-huh. Yeah, I noticed that. So, yes, of course. Absolutely. Wow. Sure. He'll make 100. He'll make 100. Yes. Yeah. Oof. Yeah. Right. Mhm. Yeah. Right. No, you're right. You're right. Yes. Yeah. Right. Of course. I agree. I agree. Okay. All right. Right. Okay, I gotta move on. Oh, yeah. Good. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I can move on. All right. So anyway, turning to baseball. Yeah. Go ahead. Hmm. All right. So turning to baseball now for a minute. The Dodgers placed reigning World Series MVP Freddie Freeman on the 10-day injury list with a right ankle injury that he sustained while he slipped in the shower at his home. The move is retroactive to March 31st. There is no corresponding move as the Dodgers had off on Thursday, but they will be able to add a player to the roster as they now take on the Phillies in this weekend series. Freeman has only played 3 games this season and has not played none since March 29th. The shower incident reportedly occurred last weekend, as manager Dave Roberts described it as a slight mishap, as he told MLB.com. Well, at least it's okay, nothing serious. Freeman missed both games of the Japan series due to rib discomfort, echoing his other World Series injury. It's the same ankle that he underwent surgery on at the end of the 2024 season. Freeman played through the pain during the postseason after badly spraining his ankle at the end of the regular season, and was also dealing with a broken rib cage. Ooh, boy. Neither injury, though, prevented from hitting 4 straight home runs in the World Series and beat my Yankees. Thank you very much. Ooh, boy. Freeman is out till at least April 10th, meaning he'll miss next weekend series against the Nationals. The Dodgers are expected to visit the White House during the trip. And at the time of this, we're 8-0, but now the Dodgers are 8-1. They lost last night. Well, it had to happen sometime. So we can rule out now a perfect season of 162-0. Not gonna happen. And the Padres are doing great too. I think they're 7-0 or 8-0. So this looks like a good battle in the NL West. Of course, it's too early to tell, but you get the yeah. Too bad they choked, and too bad they choked though. It was 4-0. Lost 4-3. All right, guys. Now, but yeah, he's hitting. He's hitting. But now we got the sad one. We got the sad article of the week here. Is all right. Now we all know about Brett Gardner's son, Miller, who tragically passed away a couple of weeks ago. It came out the result of carbon monoxide poisoning, according to Costa Rica officials. Oh wow! A new toxicology report found that Gardner's son's body had a carbon dioxide hemoglobin level of 64%, which is 14% above what is considered lethal. The nation's judicial investigation said on Monday. Costa Rica said the Moore's son act is wrong asphyxia when the body does not receive enough oxygen after a possible intoxication from food. But oxygen was not ruled out after no Marco level abnormalities were observed in the respiratory tract upon inspection of the body. An investigation official told USA on Tuesday. I mean, just a shame though how it happened. All from food poisoning. So hard to lose, someone like that at such a young age. And, his father, of course, is a great Yankee player. To have someone have like that over something that's so tragic that could have been prevented and just end up like that is just a shame. I mean, food poisoning can't be prevented. Everybody. Yeah, I know. Sure, understandable, of course. I understand, especially it's gotta be tough for baseball because you spend half your season on the road and you're away from home, and some players play on the team but live somewhere else, and it makes it hard on the family. So I get it. Right. It's gotta be baseball's gotta be the toughest season. Yeah, baseball's gotta be the toughest season to play because you spend half the season on the road. I hope not. Mm, it might be a prank. It might be a prank call, so I wouldn't worry about it. Okay, so I got some other baseball news. I think. But, I forgot to do something last week, so I'm going to take care of this right now concerning anybody there's fans of the UFL. Oh boy, yuck! All right, so we'll go to that right now. There's three games being played this weekend. There was one played last night, actually. So here are your week two matchups. We'll start with last night. All right, last night yeah, we have Birmingham over we have Birmingham over Michigan. I had actually Michigan. Steve, who did you have? You have Birmingham. Mike, UFL. Yeah, it's that league though. All right. Melvin, do you follow the UFL? Hmm, hang on. J- Jimmy, Jimmy. All right. Roger. All right. All right. I will take Michigan for obvious reasons. Die. How about you? Diane, where'd you go? Okay. Who'd you have last night? If you had to take each. Take a guess. All right. All right. So now for this weekend, for the rest of the weekend, Memphis, DC. Oh, gee, Steve, who are you going to take there? Duh. All right, Mike. All right, Roger, Jimmy, Diane, Melvin. I'm going to go DC too. All right. Um, Tomorrow's doubleheader. Houston taking on Arlington in the Battle of Texas. All right, Steve, what do you got here? Arlington. All right, Mike, Jimmy, Roger, Mel, and Diane. I'm gonna take Houston here too. And finally, another Texas team, San Antonio versus St. Louis. Steve, that's right. Mike, Jimmy, Diane, Melvin. I'm gonna take uh, I'm gonna take St. Louis. Yeah, I'll do that. And by the way, that tonight's game was on ABC. You're gonna put that up against the NCAA Final Four? Give me a break. What are you nuts? Yeah, I mean they're against each other. Okay, I don't get the significance of that, but still. All right. So turning over to women's basketball for a second, USC guard Juju Watkins, who is out for the season, was named the Associated Press Players Women's of the Year. A very good choice. The sophomore sensation averaged 23.9 points per game this season, with 6.8 rebounds and 3.4 assists, shooting 33% from the 3-point line. Watkins led the Trojans to a regular season record of 31-4 and a 17-1 conference record, and all seemed to go well. As they were probably if it wasn't for Watkins getting hurt, I think they would have made a shot at the final. So USC landed the top spot in the Spokane region, that's Spokane, Washington, by the way. But Watkins suffered a torn ACL in her right knee in the second round matchup against Mississippi State and lost to UConn in the Elite Eight. So that would think that. I think if she wasn't injured, I think maybe, like I said, UCLA would be in the final right now. Does anybody agree with me on that? First of all, I do too. I mean, I'm not going to knock UConn, of course, because UConn is terrific. But when you have a season like that, and the number one player, in top shape, but then they go down with injury like that can really, affect the team as well. And it did. Sometimes it only takes one player to affect the team, where it can go from having you know a game that you're sure you were going to win to an upsetting loss, and that's what happened. Yeah, that can happen a lot. So anyway, Watkins is USC's first is the first one from USC since Lisa Leslie back in 1994, one of the WNBA originators. Leslie went on to win 2 WNBA titles with the LA Sparks, won 3 MVPs, and 4 Olympic gold medals. She was the Caitlin Clark of 1994. Let's put it that way. Well, at least I thought so. Moving on to that because I have some more here. And speaking of WNBA, one of the greatest players of the era, as her time is up, as former Mystics and Chicago Sky Star Elena Delle Donne announced her retirement on Instagram on Thursday. Steve, you got anything to say about that since you played for your Mystics? Oh, yep. She last played in 2023. She said, and she said she quoted, my body doesn't seem to. My body seemed to make the decision for me before my mind did. But I know for sure that this is the right time to call it quits. Words cannot express how I feel. How I am. I want to thank my family, teammates, and staff, and the fans for my incredible journey. Dawn played college at Delaware, where she transformed into one of the nation's most formidable mid majors and was a three-time All American. Not bad. She was drafted second overall by the Chicago Sky in 2013. She made an instant impact on the Sky when named Rookie of the Year in 2013 and MVP in 2015. In February 2017, she went to your Mystic, Steve. In 2019, she won her second MVP title and guided the Mystics to their first and only championship, and is the team's all-time leading scorer. The future Hall of Famer retires as the league's leader in free throw percentage, turnover percentage, and offensive rating. She also won gold medals in, listen to this, the Olympics, the World Cup, and the University Games. Nobody else has done that. So congratulations, Della, on a fine career. Yes, you will. But you are, of course, one of the greats and will remain one of the greats as well. Yeah. So I just thought I'd put that in because WNBA season, guys, is not that far away. It's only 6 weeks. I kid you not. Okay, I got some more. I got some more football news, guys. So hang tight. Okay, quarterback Quentin Ewers is lined up for another pre-draft visit, according to Athlon Sports, which is not one of my favorite publications. Reports that Ewers will visit the Saints. Uh, Last week, he brought words of visits to the Cowboys, Colts, and Raiders. Ewers visit the States is expected to take place in about 2 weeks. So don't look for anything results right away. Saints head coach Kellen Moore called himself. Steve, don't believe the rumors. Don't believe rumors. Yeah, but you can't believe rumors because they're just shooting their mouth off. So it's best to go with the facts, you know, because we don't want to lead any misinformation. We don't want to do that. We don't want to lead any misinformation, because it could be wrong. That's true too. Yes. Uh huh. And it's interesting. I just found something else here. The Women's World Cup will be coming to the USA in 2031, and the UK will host the 2035 Women's World Cup. I just saw that in here. Hmm, nice. Unfortunately, we won't be able to see the games because they'll be on Netflix. Eek. Yuck. Yeah. Speaking of that, they're gonna have three Christmas games this year, two on Netflix and one on Prime. Well, at least I get to watch the Prime game, so it's not a total loss. All right. So anyway, Saints coach Keelan Moore called himself a quarterback guy when speaking to reporters about adding one in the draft during the recent owners' meetings. Derek Carr is set to return as a Saints starter, while Spencer Rattler returns to a reserve role. Ewers was 293 of 445 for 3,472 yards with 31 touchdowns and 12 interceptions in his final year at Texas. Is this a good move, Steve? Bad move? Okay, why? You're right. They don't. I agree. They do. That's where they're weak at. Everybody seems to want to go for the quarterback. That's the problem. I know it's a quarterback league, but you need help in other areas. You need running backs. You need safeties, special teams. That's part of it all too. Everybody just can't rely on the quarterback. I'm not going there. Sorry. Yes. Right. I know. I know. But speaking of the Cowboys, they've acquired quarterback Joe Milton III from the Patriots, aka them, according to multiple sources. Sorry. ESPN reported that the Cowboys are saying they're a compensatory fifth round pick to the Patriots as well as a seventh round pick. Okay. Milton will serve as a backup to Dak Prescott after Cooper Rush signed with the Ravens last month. Trey Lance, who has been the Cowboys' third string quarterback for the last two seasons, is now a free agent. So bye bye. In his debut, Milton completed 22 of 28 passes for 249 yards and a touchdown in the 23-16 win over the Bills on the last game of the season on January 5th. The Patriots selected Milton in the fifth round of the 2024 draft out of Tennessee. Drake May is expected to start as quarterback. They also have Josh Dobbs on the depth chart after he was being signed to a 2-year, $8 million deal last month. Yeesh. Milton, I don't know. This doesn't look good. I don't know. Yeah, but can he help the Cowboys? You know, they should have kept Cooper. I mean, yeah, getting rid of Trey Lance, yeah, one thing, but I still think they should have tried to keep Rush. I mean, Trey Lance, yeah, but May, I think is a good selection of quarterback too. So I'm not sure about Milton though. The jury's still on that one. I got a bad feeling, over the Patriots. Oof. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, I had thought of that too. Yeah, I thought about that. Because the Steelers, I think, can go after him. Yeah. Yeah, that's not gonna surprise me, Steve, at all. Yep. Well, we'll have to wait and see about that. Of course, we still got like a month before the draft and 3 months before, 3 months before the training camp. So a lot can happen. Yeah, you're right. Yes, I know. All right. Offensive lineman Xavier Newman Johnson signed exclusive rights tender to return to the Jets, according to league transaction reports. Okay. Newman Johnson spent the last two seasons with the Jets. Last season, he played in 11 offensive snaps and 31 special teams in 9 games, even though they didn't do much. As it went 5-12. Newman Johnson signed with the Titans as an undrafted free agent in 2022. He played one game as a rookie after spending most of the season on the practice squad. He split the 2023 season between the Jets and the Titans, and that's a coincidence because the Titans were the original name of the Jets. Go figure, right? So he went from Titans to another Titan. He has played in 20 games with 5 stars, playing in 305 offensive snaps and 65 on special teams. I'm sorry, I just couldn't resist about it. Titans against Titans. So what does that mean, guys? We got Clash of the Titans. Oh boy. Okay. I had to do one. I had to do at least one bad joke. Yuck. Right. All right. Now here, I think something sounds a little ridiculous, but yeah, I'll let you guys be the judge of this. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell said on Tuesday that the idea of NFL players competing in flag football in the 28 Olympics has been a hot topic among league top players and suggested it's likely to happen. Oh boy. I heard directly from a lot of players who want to represent their country and participate in the games, whether it's the U.S. or the country they came from, said by Goodell at the meetings last week. Participation in the Olympics was among the hot topics of conversation with owners and league officials this week, multiple sources told ESPN. As the NFL tries to work through issues associated with players participating in the Olympics. Both men's and women's flag football will make their debut in the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles. And in addition, the games comes apart because of the NFL support. Flag football is a key initiative for the NFL because the league sees it as a way of growing the American sport overseas. However, there is a problem. The issues that need to be addressed, including injury and protections for teams and players, and the Olympic schedule, which could conflict NFL training camps. Because unlike in previous years, the Olympics are going to be early this time around, as it'll be from July 14th to July 30th, rather than going to late July into mid August. So we got to begin with. So hello, oh boy. However, Goodell said, I think this issue will continue to discuss not just with the union but with the teams as well. I think we can resolve these issues within the next few months. So there are plenty of time to figure it out before training camp in 2028 begins. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's really like that'd be really like terrible timing to be honest with you. I mean, because around July 14th, July 15th, that's when players start reporting to camp. So that could be a serious issue. How are you gonna get the players ready for camp when you're playing in the Olympics? Any thoughts? Yes, Steve? Yeah, Jimmy, go ahead. You do. Yes, you do. Yeah, well, flag is a lot safer than, the NFL, so we have to look at it that way too. Yeah. All right, guys. I didn't have time to do this all today, but I thought it'd be interesting. The Naismith Hall of Fame has announced their 2025 inductees, and I think this is a very good list. So I will explain this as quickly as I can. The Hall of Fame announced on Saturday that the class of 2025 will include Carmelo Anthony and Dwight Howard, who got the nod on their who got the invite on their first year of eligibility. How about that? WNBA legends Sue Bird, Maya Moore, and Sylvia Fowles are also there. Coaches Danny Crawford and Billy Donovan also make the list, as well as the 2008 U.S. Men's Olympic team. Pretty good list right there. So let's run down and see about how they got in. And by the way, the induction ceremony will be September 5th and September 6th, which is right around Labor Day. All right. Former New York Knick Carmelo Anthony, number 3 in the 2023 draft by the Nuggets. Anthony started for 19 years in the league and earned 10 All-Star nods and 6 All-NBA honors. Over his career, he won the scoring title with my Knicks in 2012-2013 as a 3-time gold medalist and was Team USA's all-time scoring leader up until Kevin Durant passed him on the leaderboard in 2024. Dwight Howard, another one that got selected right away, one of the greatest centers of his generation. He was an 8-time All-Star and 8-time All-NBA honoree and 3-time Defensive Player of the Year a winner over 19 seasons. He also led the league in rebounds 5 times and twice in blocks. Interesting. However, Howard also won his only championship during the 2019-2020 COVID season with the Lakers and helping finish it off with the Miami Heat in 6 games in the bubble season. Yeah. Of course, some say that doesn't count, but hey, a title's a title. All right. One of the greats of the WNBA. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Oh, great. Right. All right. So, yeah. Okay. As far as WNBA players go, and this is a pretty good list. Sue Bird, a 4-time WNBA champion and one of my favorite players, a 13-time WNBA All Star, and 2-time national champion with UConn. Bird retired after 2022 and was one of the best women's players to ever lace up the sneakers. She also won two basketball players in Olympic history to win 5 gold medals, joining fellow USA teammate Diana Taurasi, who also recently retired as well. For Maya Moore, okay, this is a good one. She spent her entire career, all Moore did her entire basketball career was win. Moore lost just 3 total games in high school and 4 games in college. She won 6 championships in that span, 4 at College Hill High School and in Georgia, and two at UConn. She went on to become a key cog for the Minnesota Lynx dynasty, claiming four titles in the WNBA from 2011 to 2017. Now there's a bunch of missing links. Oh boy. Yeah, okay. Sylvia Fowles, joining more in the Hall of Fame this year, is a longtime Lynx teammate. Fowles, the eight-time NBA All-Star center, was named the Defensive Player of the Year four times over her 15-year career. She won the 2017 WMVP with the Lynx after averaging 18.9 points and 10.4 rebounds per game. This is not a bad list, guys. I'm telling you. Pretty good. All right. Crawford, not a player, but an official, worked for the NBA for 32 seasons before finally retiring in 2017. He officiated over 2,000 regular season games and over 300 playoff contests while working in 23 NBA finals. Yes, that's definitely worth deserving of getting into the Hall of Fame, even though he never played. Billy Donovan, uh, the current, yeah, Billy Don- yeah, right, exactly. And I think it would have been solidified more if he went for the Knicks. Yeah, yeah. We will. We will. We will keep good thoughts as well, Greg. All right. So the next like you'll hear, Billy Donovan, the current coach of the Chicago Bulls, won back-to-back national championships with Florida in 2006 and 2007. I remember that. He coached the Gators for 19 seasons from 1996 to 2015 before jumping to the NBA with the Oklahoma City Thunder in 2015 and looks to be, and of course, the Thunder looks to win the title this year, even without him. Okay, you might live to regret though. All right. All right. Here's an interesting one. Mickey Arson. Now I know a lot of people are not familiar with this guy, so I'll explain who he is. Arson's father, Ted, brought the Heat to Miami in 1988. Since he took control of the franchise in 1995, the Heat had been one of the most successful organizations in all of sports, winning three NBA titles between 2005 and 2013, and advancing to the finals seven times under his watch. Okay. And the 2008 U.S. Men's Olympic basketball team, the other dream team. Nicknamed the Redeem Team after the Team USA won a bronze in 2004. The 2008 edition defeated Spain 118 to 107 to win the gold medal and put the U.S. back on top of international basketball glory. The 2008 roster was coached by Duke legend Coach K and was led by some pretty well-known names, if you ask me. Dwayne Wade, Kobe Bryant, and two members of the Hall of Fame class 2025, namely Dwight Howard and Carmelo Anthony, and some guy named LeBron James. Never heard of him. Have you? Yeah. Just kidding. Just kidding, folks. Just kidding. Right. It's sarcastic humor, people. All right, guys. So, what do we make of this list? I mean, I think it's a pretty good list, and I think it's one of the best lists I've seen in quite a while. Yeah, especially Bird. Yeah, especially Bird. Well deserved. Of course, Anthony would have made it more solidified if he would have won for the Knicks that season, but didn't quite happen. Yeah, and I'm not touching that. I'm not touching that one with a 10 foot pole. Oh wait, we canceled the 10 foot pole. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Right. And but I like the list with Bird, uh, Fowles, and Moore getting inducted as well because these three, really made the WNBA, where it is now. And All Star also with Lisa Leslie as well. So congratulations on all the nominees and Billy Donovan too. All right, I got some more hockey news if anybody wants it. Leon Draisaitl of the Oilers reached the 50 goal mark um, back last week for the fourth time in his career. He scored 51, 51st, 52nd in win overtime of the Flames. Draisaitl was the first player in the league this season to reach 50 goals and hit number one, 51 in overtime, ending the losing streak. So I think they're primed to get into the playoffs as well. Of course, we still got 1 week to go. All right, the NBA will not penalize guard John Morant and Warriors guard Buddy Hield for their hand gestures. That could be constituted as a shooting guard, a person with the knowledge, the league said, told USA Today. The person requested anonymity because he was not authorized to speak publicly about the league's decision. Both teams were warned the gesture is inappropriate and urged not to make those gestures moving forward. The Grizzlies used gestures as a celebration all season, and other players had similar gestures, especially after making a 3-point shot. Jimmy Butler made the second of free throws, giving the Warriors a 132-125 lead with 20 seconds left, and Grizzlies called a timeout as both teams went back to their benches. Morant made the gesture at the Warriors bench. Oh boy. The players and teams involved said they were not making any violent gestures. Dyson Daniels of the Hawks made a similar gesture after making 3 pointers and was not fined for making the gesture towards the Pelicans bench in a game earlier this season. Other players have been fined for making the gesture, such as Jerome Green and Josh Jackson. Actually, Morant has now been fined $75,000 for that incident because it's the shooting of a gun, and that could be, I think, considered rather offensive, to be honest. So you really should watch those kind of gestures. I know they didn't mean to do it intentionally, but still, yeah, you shouldn't do it. And like I said, the same, yeah, that's right. Yes, yes. So as I said, the St. Louis Blues, they're on a roll. 11 straight wins now. Robert Thomas scored a game-winning goal, 2:12 in overtime on Thursday as they beat the Pens for their 11th straight win. Thomas also had an assist for the Blues. Jake Neighbors scored twice, and Jordan Cairo scored and provided the assist on the game-winning goal by Thomas. And Joe Hoffer made 24 saves. This team was hot. Brian Rust, Richard Renkel, and Roger Gordy scored a goal and an assist, but have for the Pens, and now lost 4 of the last 5. Connor Dewar scored the tying goal for McCourty, his first goal in the NHL with only 25 seconds left in regulation. What a time for that to happen, folks. Sidney Crosby got his 55th assist of the season to earn a point in 11 straight game. Tristan Jari stopped 14 shots. Hockey. Blues forward Dylan Holloway left the first period in overtime win against the Pens with a lower body injury in the same game. Blues coach Jim Montgomery said he had no additional information on the injury after the game. The Blues announced the injury during the first intermission and said the Holloway would not return to the game it was not clear how the injury occurred. One of those types. Okay. Holloway, who has been the driving force during this 11-game win streak, has 26 goals and 37 assists in 77 games and had 8 shifts in the first period before he went down with the injury. Raise of course. Yeah. But this Blues team is hot. They can make a serious run when the playoffs start too. I wouldn't put it past it. And Anthony Edwards returned for the second half after sustaining an apparent ankle injury in Thursday's win over the Nets, which is 4 minutes in the second quarter. Edwards drilled 3-pointer shots in the corner when he had backed up and tumbled over Nets coach Jordi Fernandez. He then headed to the locker room. Oh boy. Edwards returned for the start of the third quarter, scoring 13 points, finishing with 28 overall, and the Wolves were their fourth straight. Congratulations on that one. Yeah. Aha. Another NFL rule change this season is in which penalties can be subjected to a league review. Under this new policy, hits on a defensive player grabbing the face mask, performing a horse collar, tripping, what is this people? Tripping and running or roughing into the passer can be reviewed according to Pro Football Talk. The proposal comes, though, with a catch. Those penalties can only be reviewed by officials if a flag is thrown on the play. If a coach does not believe the flag was not warranted, he could challenge the play and the penalty and potentially have the penalty overturned. In cases where a flag is not thrown by an official on the play, coaches will not be eligible to challenge. If the official misses a penalty, a coach cannot use replay or challenge the situation. That's yeah, right. I haven't heard anything in college, so probably not. I haven't heard anything in the college. I don't think they do, or at least I'm not aware of it. Yeah, right. College and NFL apply by different rules anyway, so Uh, yeah. And as I said earlier, thanks to the success of last year's Christmas games, the NFL will do a triple header this Christmas: two on Netflix, which I don't have, and one on Amazon Prime, which I do have. So at least I get that. The NFL broadcasted 2 games on Netflix last season as the Ravens beat up on the Texans and the Chiefs handled the Steelers. Too bad the games were not competitive. Would have been even better. Both games did average 24 million viewers on a holiday that's usually dominated by the NBA. We don't know who is going to play in those Christmas Day games because the schedule has not been out yet, but it will be released next month. So stay tuned. You might find it interesting. But if the Jets or Giants do play on Christmas Day, we will be able to see those games on our local station. So we might not be totally left out. Thank goodness. I'm Octavio, the former right-hander. We gotta wait till May, die. We gotta wait till May. Okay. Adam Octavio, the former right-hander leader for the Yankees, is returning to the team on a 1-year deal. He agreed to a minor league deal with the Red Sox, on February 18th and exercised his right to be released on March 23rd after completing an ERA of 10.80 and 5 spring training starts. Yick. He was 2-2 with a 4.30 ERA in 60 appearances for the Mets last season, straining 15 of 20 runners on base. Octavio pitched for the Yankees in both 2019 and 2020 and went 8-8 in both seasons with a 2.76 ERA in 97 league appearances. And is 41 and 43 overall with 46 saves with a 3.49 ERA with the Cardinals, Rockies, Yankees, Red Sox, and Mets. A globetrotter. Okay. That means bouncing around from team to team, die. You probably thought I meant the Harlem Globetrotters. Oh boy. Okay. All right, we only got a few minutes, so gonna just wrap up with some history if I can get to it. Oops. Yeah. Yeah. Next week we'll see what happens in the Masters because that'll be this week. I do like that. First major of the year, guys. First major of the year. Oh, yeah. All right, so I'll do some more recent history since we don't have time to do everything. Oh wait, 1972, the MLB regular season fails to open during a player strike for first time in history and lost 86 games. That's right, that's the first one. 1983, Tom Seaver sets record 14th NFL opening day assignment. Okay. 1984, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar breaks Wilt Chamberlain's all-time scoring record with 31,419 points. LeBron is now past it, of course. Ah, well. Wayne Gretzky in 1987 won his seventh straight scoring title. Okay. 1989, Orel Hershiser, uh, consecutive scoring streak of 59 innings comes to an end. Wow. 1990, John Stockton reaches 1,000 assist mark for the third straight year. 1,000 assists. Wow. Oh, we. 1991, Joe Dumars ends NBA free throw streak at 62 games. Lee Trevino won the Masters, one stroke by Jack Nicklaus in 1992. Wow. Miami Heat beat the Knicks, ending 15-game winning streak in 1994. Oh, yeah, the 15-game winning streak. I remember that. 2010, Duke beat Butler 61-59. Kyle Sigler had 19 points. And Connecticut they beat Syracuse in the women's game in 2016. And we can't forget that magic moment when in the 2016 final, of course, Villanova beating North Carolina. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up. Rasal's coming up. Check him out if you can. I'll be back next week. We'll recap the men's and women's final. We'll get the Masters going as well because I know we got a lot of golf fans there. So we'll take care of that and we'll go through the rest. And I think maybe the Boston Marathon too. Well, we'll take a look at that, I should say. And we'll also find out what the last of the regular season of the NHL and NBA. So on that note, I'm going to wish you a good week. Good night. Have a good weekend. Stay safe out there. All right. Huh? You got no. Let me say, I think it's Yeah.